Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time, I am able to interview Amy Nicole face to face as we are coming to you from Lake Placid, New York, with a backdrop of Mirror Lake and the Adirondack Mountains behind us. What a beautiful setting. How are you today?
I'm doing great, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, what brings you back up home?
Well, my family first and foremost, and today I had my first book signing event in the Adirondacks since I've become an author at the Bookstore Plus in Lake Placid on Main Street, and it was a great, wonderful day getting out in my hometown.
She was signing copies of An Apple a Day, her most recent book, as well as she's also been published with Hello Sunshine and Buster's Backpack, as well as a playwright.
Yes, 2 cents.
How did growing up in the Adirondacks shape your perspective on the world and inform your writing?
Well, growing up in the Adirondacks is where I really developed my passion for writing. Living in a small town out in the country and farmland, there were not a lot of kids to play with. You had to use your imagination. We didn't have cell phones or any electronic devices, really. So I wrote a lot. And the animals that surrounded me on the farm and my pets, they became my friends, and they were really an inspiration to my imagination.
Are there any specific landmarks or traditions or cultural practices from your hometown that influence your writing?
I wouldn't say any landmarks in particular, other than just the mountains, the farmland, the lakes. The practices would be just everybody looking out for one another in some ways. The hometown, small town, kindness. Kindness is really one of the biggest things that I took culturally from growing up here, and that's just a message through everything that I do.
Yeah, that is definitely where we grew up. You had to be kind because winters were harsh, and sometimes I remember your father helping plow us out when we just got too much snow, and it's definitely a huge part of our adolescence is the kindness and the adults around you. It's amazing.
Very grateful for growing up where we did.
Did your hometown history, geography, or climate influence the settings in your work?
The geography, for sure. So An Apple a Day is set on a farm, and which, An Apple a Day was inspired by my real life experience. So definitely the geography of the Adirondacks and where we lived. The climate, yes, I could honestly say that influenced my writing as well, because we don't have a lot of nice weather for a very long period of time up here. So in the winter time, I was writing just as much, if not more, and also becoming involved in the theater, which was usually a wintertime practice for me with plays and musicals. That really developed my writing as well, because I was playwriting in junior high and really in high school when I started writing one-act plays for drama class. And Mrs. Kalinowski would really work with me on my writing, and all of us students, but she was really a strong positive influence early on in me having a life in the theater.
You mentioned influences and Mrs. Kalinowski, your teacher. What are some other people that helped influence you to become a writer?
Well, first, my mother. My mother was a writer her whole life. She wrote music, that was her passion. And also she became a school teacher and a principal, so she loved history, and she loved to write essay papers, she loved to research, so she was always writing. She was my first influence in writing. And then I really think it was just a natural progression for me with growing up in the Adirondacks, looking for something to do, and just a gift that was given to me, just finding that. And then in high school, like I said, Mrs. Kalinowski, when I really got focused on theater, she really took me under her wing, and I just took it all in. And that was really where it all started. But I could go on and on, because then when I became a journalist, I had those mentors as well. So it's just been a ongoing, lifelong learning and growing process.
What brought you back to the personal experiences for Apple a Day?
Well, my mom had saved the original book that I wrote for a school project when I was 12 years old. Mm-hmm. And it was called Charlie the Chocolate Eater. And she gave it back to me as an adult writer. So when I started publishing Buster's Backpack Adventure and Hello Sunshine after she passed, I found the original school project and I said, I could do something with this. So I did go through it and make some edits to put it all together grammatically correct, because I wrote it as a 12-year-old, and changed the title to An Apple a Day, which just came to me as the book, is centered around this magical apple. It just is one of those moments as a writer where things just come to you. And I also thought as well, when that came to me, wow, this would be so great, because we live in New York State and we're known for being the Big Apple, apple orchards everywhere. So it just all kind of like fell into place.
Right. That's amazing. So tell us what An Apple a Day is about.
So An Apple a Day is a whimsical story with a real message in it about a retired racehorse named Charlie, who is faced with an unexpected challenge of having to help save the family farm. So he and his best friend, who is a rabbit named Fluff, seek out a solution and go out on this woodland adventure to find a magical apple. So it's really a story about family. It is a story about friendship. It's a story about healthy eating. And it's also a story, about perseverance, never giving up, and overcoming challenges, obstacles. There's so many messages. You could take whatever you want from it, but it's a really nice read for children to learn a lot in one small book.
How about some of your other works? How were they influenced by growing up in the Adirondacks?
Well, I think everything that I write has a touch of me, right? So that's what people always say, but it's true. Buster's Backpack Adventure was inspired by my children and my yellow lab Buster. So that was the inspiration for that. And that's all an extension of me. Yeah. Not directly so much with the Adirondacks, but right. I'm from the Adirondacks, so it all comes back to that. How I raised my children, I never lost touch with home. So I brought them up here very often to visit family, and in turn they developed their own appreciation for the Adirondacks and family life up here, and how people treat each other and look out for each other in the small town aspects. And then 2 Cents, Two Cents is just really an extension of my theater, my lifelong of theater, and that was just a passion piece for me of all my years writing, 1-act scripts just for myself. And then I had an experience in New Orleans about 12 years ago that inspired 2 Cents, and I went back to my bed and breakfast and wrote it as a short story in about 2 hours, and I knew right then and there it was going to be my first full-length play. Yeah. So 2 Cents for me is really a full circle project for me, with a culmination of all of my lifelong in writing.
That's great. Do you have anything else that you're working on that you might want to maybe share a few details?
Yeah, well, right now I've really been focused on An Apple a Day and giving that a lot of love and spreading the word about that. 2 Cents, I have had the past 2 years an incredible run of staged readings that started in 2022 with a premiere staged reading in LA in West Hollywood, then to New York City in June of 2022. Then I did a staged reading of 2 Cents in Sag Harbor on Long Island at Bay Street Theater, which was also a very poignant full circle moment for me because I went to the New York State Summer School of the Arts, was accepted when I was 16, and the school took place at Stony Brook University that summer. We attended Bay Street Theater during that time. So for me to go back as a playwright years later and have a stage reading of my play on such a theater of note was a highlight in my career. And most notably, this past August, I went to London. My play was invited to be a part of the Camden Fringe Festival in London. So I went to London for the first time and I presented 2 Cents as 2 evenings of staged readings.
Oh, wow.
So the next stop up is off-Broadway. Sometime in the next year, its first off-Broadway run.
That's great.
Or off-Broadway, whatever.
Well, that sounds amazing, and you're doing really great work, and I, for one, hope to continue to support you.
I appreciate all of your support.
I am so glad and proud of you for being able to come back here and do a book signing, and it was fascinating catching up with you again after a few years.
Yes, well, thank you so much. It was so special to be back here today in Lake Placid for the first time with an apple a day, and to just bring everything home for the first time, and to share it with people that understand the area, and they can really, really, really appreciate where it's from.
So where can we find you on social media, and where can we purchase your books?
Okay, so on social media, all social media, you can find me Facebook, Instagram. Those are my 2 platforms. Amy Nicole. I think they're both, well, Facebook is just Amy Nicole, but Instagram is _ Amy.Nicole, I believe. I also have an Instagram page just for an apple a day, and that's an apple a day book. And I'm also a member of the Long Island Authors Group and Long Island Authors. So you could look up either one of those websites and you could find my complete bio and where to buy the books on those pages as well. Okay. But an apple a day is available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, retailers in the UK. An apple a day is published through Pegasus Publishers in England. So my book is internationally published and available at those retailers as well. Hello Sunshine and Buster's Backpack Adventure you can find on Amazon.
And I will include links in the profile, in the description of the video, so you can find them easier. Well, thank you, Amy.
Thank you very much.
And I hope to be able to continue interviewing you.
Yes, I would love that.
No matter how famous you get. And thank you for joining us and watching on my channel, Vinny X Wolf. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, from Lake Placid, have a great day.